Well, good morning, everyone. So good to be back together again. And we have some wonderful winter stories that we're going to read in the next few weeks. The first one today is called The Mitten, which has been around a long time. It's a very good story, and it is a folk tale. So it's been told for hundreds of years in many different ways. And the author and illustrator, she made these beautiful pictures too, took it and made it her own way. That's how folk tales go. So we're going to read that, and then we're going to make some paper mittens to hang up. Some fun paper mittens. So those are the things we're going to do. But first we got to start out with our song. You ready? If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, clap your hands. Boom, boom. All right, this is one of my favorite books. And the pictures are wonderful. The Mitten by Jan Brett. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Nicky, and his grandma was going to make him some mittens. He called her Baba. And guess what? He wanted mittens made out of wool as white as snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. What if you drop one in the snow, she said. You'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally Baba made them for him. After she finished, she said, now, when you come home, first I will look to see that you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have both of your mittens. So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long before, one of his new mittens dropped in the snow, and it was left behind. A little mole, tired out from trundling along under the snow, discovered that mitten, and she burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm, and just the right size, so he decided to stay. Now I'm going to tell you a little secret about this book. See this mitten shape? You're going to see the next animal that's coming right there every time. We've got a rabbit here. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a minute to admire his winter coat, and it was then that he saw that mitten. And he wiggled in feet first. Well, the mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Now we got a hedgehog. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into that mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made some room for him. There he is going in. Woof. Now look who we've got. An owl. Look at that owl. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled, but when they saw the owl's glittery talons, they quickly let him in. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed that mitten and began to climb on in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not very pleased about this. It's getting kind of crowded in there, isn't it? There was no room left at all. But when they saw his big digger claws, they gave him the thumb. He fit right in that thumb. A fox. Woo! How is that going to work? It started snowing, but the animals were snug in that mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and the fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of all those animals cozy in that mitten made him feel kind of drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. And then the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth. They gave the fox lots of room. Oh, no, a bear? Oh my goodness. Oh, a great bear lumbered by, and he spied that Mitten all plumped up. Look, it's that big now. Oh, and not one to be left out in the cold. He began to nose his way in. Well, the animals were packed in as tightly as could be. But what animal would argue with a bear, would you? Mm-mm. The Mitten swelled and stretched. It pulled and it bulged many times its size. But Baba's good knitting held tight. Look at a little tiny mouse. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. And she wriggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on the bear's nose. Oh, look at them all there. And here we see Nicky. He just found out he's only got one mitten left. Uh-oh. Well, that little mouse stood right there, and then he wiggled his whiskers a little bit, and the bear was tickled by the mouse's whiskers and gave an enormous chew. The force of that sneeze shot the Mitten up into the air and scattered the animals in every direction. Look at that. There goes the bear and the fox and the owl and the rabbit and the badger, the porcupine. Oh, my goodness. And on his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was his lost Mitten, silhouetted against the blue sky. As he ran to catch it, and he caught that snow white Mitten, and he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound. And then she saw that he still had his two mittens. And that's the story, but there's one little page here. Look at that. There's Nicky and Baba. They're looking at the two mittens. One is the way it was to begin, but the other one is all stretched out and out of shape, and they're saying, how did this happen? They didn't know, but we know what was in that mitten. It was an owl, a rabbit, a bear, a fox, a badger, and a hedgehog, all in that mitten, and a tiny little mouse. So that's the story of the Mitten. Isn't that a good one? I like that story. Now, these are not mittens that are made out of wool. Real mittens are made out of nice, cozy wool to keep you warm. These are just mittens to look at. In fact, you can make some, and you can maybe write a little love note to somebody on the back. Like, I love you, keep warm, something like that. But I'll show you how to do it. Just have a piece of paper, and you can make a little shape of a mitten there. You can get some help with that. And I folded it in half so I can cut two out the same at the same time. And here we go. I use blue for my mitten. You can use white or red, any color you want, because it's your mitten, your mittens. All right, there we've got our two mittens. And then the fun part, you can decorate them any way you want. You can do polka dots, do swirly whirls or stripes, or even funny faces if you want. You can make them any way you want. All right, so, and then we'll turn them over. And if you have a piece of string or yarn, just tape it on the back of each mitten. And remember, yours can be all fancy, and you can even glue little pictures or things on this if you want to. Then you'll have some mittens to hang up on your refrigerator. You can put them around your neck too, like you have mittens, okay? That's any way that you want to do it. Well, I hope you have fun with this craft, and remember to think about something nice you can do for someone today. And that'll make them smile, and that'll make you feel happy too. We're going to see you next time. Have a wonderful day.